handle their problems in different ways. Some talk to others about their problems, while others may write about their problems in a journal. And it's an unfortunate thing when people use alcohol or sometimes even drugs to help cope what's bothering them. Workaholics dive into work in order to help them forget about whatever it is that's bothering them. And Satan harps off of this. He uses these opportunities as a time to get you distracted from what God wants you to do. He uses these times as a way to distract you from what God is saying. He uses these opportunities as a way to get us off the track that God wants us on. If I could just turn your attention to the 77th Psalm. We see David is having trouble sleeping. If I could use my Christian imagination for a moment, it would appear as though his mind is racing. He obviously can't quiet his thoughts enough to sleep. Obviously can't quiet his problems enough to sleep. But David does not bury himself into work in order to quiet his thoughts. He doesn't do meaningless work to forget about his problems. Starting with verse 5, we see David thinking about the past. During the evening, he remembered songs, and we see that he asked a series of rhetorical questions. Verse 7, will the Lord reject forever? Will he never show favor again? Has his unfailing love vanished forever? Has his promise failed for all time? Verse 9, has God forgotten to be merciful? Has he in anger withheld his compassion? Now these questions that David poses, they don't require an answer, because we know that God does not go back on his word. We know that God has a perfect love, yet David uses this series of rhetorical questions to remind himself of what God has brought him through in the past. We see that what David does to quiet his thoughts, to quiet his racing mind, is encourage himself in the Lord. And that's one of the most important things that a workaholic can do. Instead of diving yourself into work to make you quiet your thoughts, to make you forget about your problems, instead, encourage yourself in the Lord. I challenge you today to let go of workaholism and let God mold you into everything you could be. God bless you.
You have just watched Tashanta speak. If you would like me to speak at your next conference or event, just shoot me an email at tashante.speaks@gmail.com. That's tashante.speaks@gmail.com. It's that simple.